Okay, let's everyone join for the class. We will wait. Okay, guys, all join for the class right now on the new chapter by Abhisar, that is Morphology of Flowering Plants. Is there anyone? Yes? Is there anybody? Okay. Technical Tamlin, your name please. Amal sir has told me, but I just forgot. Yes? Pratipa? Yes. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Pranav, Shivani, Elsa, Ratika. Okay. Okay, we are starting with this new chapter for NEET 2021-2022 students. That is Morphology of Flowering Plants. Okay. New chapter, yes, Ramyeshri. Okay. Okay, starting with a new chapter, that is Morphology. Today we will be discussing about, so in this chapter you have to study about different concepts. So first we have a look at what all are the concepts that you have to discuss in this chapter. That is, in this chapter you have to first study about root, about the structure of root, type of root, okay, type of root, structure of root, then about different type of root and their functions. After roots we'll be going with the structure stem. Okay, there also you'll be studying about the structure, function, then different kinds, okay, of stem. After that, moving with leaf. After leaves you will move with the flowers. Guys, morphology and anatomy, they are interrelated chapters. Morphology means we will be discussing about the external characters of a flower, not a flower exactly, external characters of a plant. And anatomy, in the chapter anatomy, that is the next chapter, we will be discussing about the different internal structure of the stem, roots, etc. Are you all here? Give me a thumbs up on the chat box fast. Give me a thumbs up on the chat box fast. Okay, so all these things you have to learn in detail in this chapter. Okay, okay. So starting with the chapter, in today's class we will be discussing about root. So with all your permission, Yelsa, Pratipa, Pranav, Shivani, Ramya, Shri, with all your permission, moving on to the super amazing class. Yes. Yes, guys. Morphology. Morphology. What is morphology? Morphology means it is a study of the external forms of an organism. Guys, this is one of the most important. This is one of the most important chapter which the NTA concentrate for NEET examination, because there are chances of getting, okay, Ratika, there are chances of getting so many out of NCRT questions in this chapter. Okay, so now in this session we'll be discussing, I'll be telling maximum out of NCRT points also, but some points will only be conveyed to you only through the MCQs. Okay, I hope you all have done the last Living World Menti quiz. I hope everybody got the questions. Those who haven't joined the session in the previous lecture, do watch it from the YouTube right after the class itself. Okay, so after this, morphology also will be beginning with a quiz. Okay, so morphology is a study of the external characters of an organism. So in this chapter we are mainly discussing about the angiosperms. Guys, what do you mean by angiosperm? Angiosperms means flowering plant. You will know about these angiosperms, gymnosperms, and everything. You have studied all these things in your lower classes, I am sure about that. But you will study in detail about the angiosperms and gymnosperm, pteridophyte, bryophyte, and all these things in the chapter number 3. After Amal sir finishes the chapter biological classification, he will be beginning with the very next chapter, that is plant kingdom. In that plant kingdom, he will be just teaching you about the different kinds of plant, that is algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms. But angiosperms onwards, the main character we are discussing in the next upcoming 2 chapters, that is morphology as well as anatomy. So angiosperms are characterized by the presence of root, stem, leaf, flowers, and fruit. Okay, angiosperms are characterized by the presence of roots, stems, leaf, flowers, and fruit. There are mainly two parts of a flowering plant. There are mainly two parts of a flowering plant, that is the root system and the shoot system. Root system means the underground part, that is the parts of the plant below the soil is the root system, and the part of the soil above the soil is called the shoot system. Guys, look, suppose if this is the soil level, all those parts that comes below the soil comes under the root system, and all those parts that comes above, all those parts that comes above the soil will comes under the shoot system. Guys, understood with this first slide? Give me a heart on the chat box. If you have understood this very clearly, give me a hearts on the chat box. Yes. Guys, who is the person disliking the session? If you don't need the session, please just go. 6 are watching now, and I'm sure that among that 6%, 1% have given their dislike. Guys, if you don't need the session, please out. Okay? Don't enter the session just to dislike. This is a hard work of several weeks, okay, preparing these perfect slides for teaching. Not even just having recognizing the hard works made by the teacher, you are disliking the session. I don't know who done that. Yes. Moving on with the next one, that is, in this we'll be discussing about the root. Guys, tell me, what are the two different kinds of root? You have to study about the taproot system and the fibrous root system. Taproot system and the fibrous root system. Okay, taproot system and fibrous root system. Oh, guys, is it the problem with everyone that the screen is not visible? Guys, what about others? Is the screen visible? Okay, Ratika, please just close the window and just relog in again. Okay, I think that would be a net connection from your side. Okay, Ratika, can you hear me, Ratika? Okay, so here you have to study about the different kinds of root system, that is the taproot and the fibrous root. So I have included maximum amount of natural images on the screen in order to just make you understand the concept. Perfect. Starting with the class. So we have to study about the root. Okay, we have to study about the roots. Root is the underground part formed from the radicle of the embryo. Radicle of the embryo, you will be getting what? The root. Suppose you might have seen, if you have taken a pea seed, you might have seen a small part projecting like this downward, and at the same time you may see another part just projecting just very smallly towards the upper part. The part of the plant or the parts of the seed that protrudes downwards, you will call it as the root, and the part of the plant that protrudes upwards will develops into shoot. That is this part. Okay, these part of the seed that's coming downward, you will call it as the radicle. Please take it down. It is not R-A. The spelling is Radicle. Okay, this is the correct spelling. It is not Radical. Okay, this is radical coming in chemistry. Ca2 plus, all such things coming in chemistry. Okay, so this is a radical, and this portion you will call it as the plumule. So we will be studying about the plumule when we study about the stem. Okay, perfect. Good. So root is developed from the radical of the embryo. Roots are generally developed from the radical of the embryo. Look, this is the radical. This is the seed that I drawn. Okay, this is the radical. Look, this radical will grow, elongates, and further that radical will develops into roots, giving off branches. I think this diagram is perfectly clear for everybody in the class. Am I right? Am I right? Is it clear for everybody? Guys, 8 are watching, 5 likes only. Those who have liked the session, please. Those who have liked the session, please like the session fast. And if that one person who disliked the session is there in the class, please just change it back into your like button, because these are even the symbol points itself I'm telling repeatedly. See the effort that a teacher just takes for the students. Okay, guys, these are all are not just extracted from anywhere. These are just preparations for the last week, since the last week, in order to understand you with the entire concept of this chapter. Okay, this is a very lengthy chapter, so we have to first discuss about the type of root system. First one is the taproot system. First one is the taproot system. Second one is the fibrous root system. Third one is the adventitious root system. I hope you might have learned about these in your lower classes. If you have learned in your lower classes, give me a thumbs up on the chat box fast, so that I could only tell the advanced portions of these types of root system. If you have learned this in your lower class, give me a thumbs up on the chat box. Yes? Yes. Okay, perfect. So guys, anyway, I'll be just explaining it not in a detailed manner, okay, because these are all simple things. So there are 3 types of root system, that is taproot system, fibrous root system, and adventitious root system. Look, fibrous root means, not fibrous root, taproot means a single primary root will be there, okay, a single primary root will be there, and from that primary root, certain projections gets comes out, okay. From that primary root, the projections gets coming out, okay. The thick portion, the thick root is called the primary root. We have to discuss in detail. This arising portion, you will call it as a secondary. The outgrowths from the secondary root, you will call it as a tertiary root. Perfect. Okay, but these are originating from the radical of the embryo. All the roots, almost all the type of roots are also originating from the radical, except adventitious root, except for adventitious root. Adventitious roots specialities, they are the roots that do not develop from the radical, but they are developing from any other parts of the plant. Those roots which are developing from any other parts of the plant other than the radical, you call it as the adventitious root. So adventitious root are not developed from radical, but those roots which develop from any other parts of a plant other than radical, you will call it as the adventitious root system. Okay, next is fibrous root system. Fibrous means there is no major primary secondary root. All these roots will appear just like the fibers, just how you see in case of grasses. If you pull out a grass from the soil, you may see what a fibrous root system. Exactly, you may see in the image taproot system, fibrous root system, adventitious root, roots originating from other parts of the plant other than radical. Next point that you have to identify or study over here, it is taproot system is the characteristic of dicotyledonous plant. What are dicot? They have double cotyledon. They have double cotyledon. Okay, actually this is the guard cell. I just wanted to, this is not the cotyledon. They will be having the two cotyledon. When you open this one seed, you will have a structure like this, right? You will see these structures in the later part of the chapter. Okay, so dicot means they have two cotyledon, and the fibrous root system is the characteristic of monocot plant. Okay, for example, grasses, rice, wheat, all such plants, you will see the fibrous root system. Next is, one second, yes, we have a lengthy portion to complete. Anyway, yes, the first we are going to discuss about the taproot system. Okay, first we are going to discuss about the taproot system. It consists of primary roots, taproot. Okay, primary root or the taproot. Look in this diagram, it is clearly visible. A primary root just developed, that is a single root elongates. The single root, that you will call it as the primary root. Okay, a primary root or the taproot and its branches called the secondary root and the tertiary root. I have drawn the diagram for you earlier itself. Look, a root will get grown at the very first instant itself above the soil, below the soil, not above the soil. Okay, below the soil, and this root you will be calling the very thickened middle root, you will be calling it as the what? Primary root. This root structure you will call it as the primary root. Okay, from this you could see the arising of the secondary root, that is certain fiber like projections from the primary root, you will call it as the secondary root. You will call it as a secondary root. And there are certain roots, a type of root that originates again from the secondary root, the fiber, small hair like projections occurring from this secondary root, you will be calling it as the what? Tertiary root. I hope all the concepts are clear because I just conveyed it in such a manner that you could understand. Yes, taproot system is the characteristic feature of dicot plant. What is an example for a dicot plant? It is mustard. After we complete this chapter, we will get an example, a huge number of examples. So this is your first example that you are studying. The first point, guys, all these chapters are related. Okay, all these things are related right from this onwards. So please take your NCERT. You may have a blank page at the last, right? After the chapter questions, after the NCERT questions, you may have a small space, right? So take that space and write all these examples together. Okay, all these together. So you have to write taproot system is a characteristic property of dicotyledonous plant. Okay, dicotyledonous plant, and what happens is that example for dicot plant is the mustard plant. Not only mustard, okay, here it is mustard. So primary root is the elongated form of radicle. Primary root is the elongation of the radicle. The radicle just elongates to form the primary root. In the last diagram we have seen. Am I right? One second. Yes. Look, this is the primary root, right? This is the primary root. The primary root just elongates, right? The primary root is elongated, and only the branches or the secondary root just arise from the primary root. Okay, so what is the extension of the radicle known as? In taproot system, it is the primary root. Okay, primary root is the taproot, and it is divided into certain small branches called the secondary roots and the tertiary root. It is seen in dicotyledonous plant, and it is the elongated form of radicle, for example, mustard. Next is taproot system. It consists of a primary root. We have studied this, right? Yes, it is a primary root seen in dicot plants. Elongation of the radicle, example mustard. Guys, this is the mustard plant. This is the mustard plant. Okay, mustard plant. Look, the elongated form of root, the elongated root. Okay, with the diagram only, I'll make you clear. For each and everything that I'm telling in the class, I will show you the image. That is a speciality of BioPoints stream, the world of bio. Because these morphology anatomy chapters are very, very confusing. Is it, Pranav? Calvin? Is these chapters really confusing? The MCQs coming from this chapter, they are need 2020 students, right? I don't know about that. Most of the students, these chapters are really, really confusing and tough, because the reason is that they will not have an idea. When they hear the name of a plant, suppose they may be asking, what is the estivation in P? Or you might imagine, or it must easily strike your mind that, oh, this is the image of the pea flower. Okay, then the answer is vexillary estivation. Like that, it will suddenly strike off your mind if you see and study with the images. That's what I am aiming at. So this is the mustard plant. I hope it's clear about the taproot system. Yes. Next is the fibrous root system. I hope almost everybody have seen this. Yes. Examples is the most. Guys, 2021, 2022 students, listen from a 2020 student. This is the most difficult chapter where you have to. This is the most difficult chapter where you get a lot and lots of so many examples. Okay, so I already told that fibrous root is the characteristic of the monocot. What happens to the 2021 2022 students? Shivani, Ratika, Pratipa, then who else? Ramya, Shri, where are you all? Are you there in the class? Yes. Fibrous root system in monocot, the primary root is short lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. So, in case of monocot, that is the fibrous root system, they will not have separations like primary root, secondary root, tertiary root. Okay. All these roots, the primary root will, okay. These primary root will just disappear after some time. That is, they are short lived. They will get disintegrated and is replaced by a large number of other roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem to form the fibrous root system. I hope no need of further explanation, clear with this wonderful diagram. Am I right? Clear with this wonderful diagram on the screen. When I was studying also, this was one of the most difficult chapter. It's not the root and stem which is difficult. It is all about the flower and the flower family, which is the difficult, where you have to study nearly different example. You will get confusing about it. Okay, so for example, fibrous root example is seen in wheat, grass, rice. All these are examples of monocot plant. Next is adventitious root. Adventitious root. I already told or explained to you that roots, or the type of roots that arise from other part of the plant than radical, will call it as the adventitious root. For example, certain grasses, okay, not all the grasses, in all the grasses you will see what? Fibrous root system. In certain grasses, Monstera banyan tree, you will see adventitious root. Adventitious root, they may be originating from the node of the plant or the inner node of the plant. Okay, for example, in sugarcane and all, you will see different type of root, that is tilt root. In NCRT, you have the diagram. Suppose this is the cane of the sugarcane, you will see certain fiber like projections from certain particular point. Okay, from a particular point you will see certain white fibers in case of sugarcane. In case of banyan tree, you will see certain, in case of banyan tree, you will see certain roots hanging down for support. Okay, for support of the such large plants, certain roots hanging from. Then for example, in case of plants growing in the marshy areas, You might have seen, I don't know whether you have seen, pneumatophores, the roots just projecting above the soil. Mangrove forest, you may see mangrove forest. You may see what? The roots just projecting upwards. Okay, all these are examples of adventitious roots. It's there on the diagram. Okay, so simply I am just telling adventitious roots are the type of roots which originate from the parts of a plant other than radical. For example, banyan tree, sugar cane, monstera, certain grasses, etc. Okay, next we have to discuss about the most important topic, that is the regions of the root. Regions of the root. NEET 2020 students, to the kind attention of NEET 2020 students, you can expect a one question from this regions of the root. Perfect. Harsh Saini, you are attempting NEET in which year? It would be better if you let me know that. Are you there in the BioPoint group? Yes. Okay. NEET 2020 students, one guaranteed MCQ, regions of the root. You may expect a direct MCQ for arranging all these things. Then from which group Harsh Saini you are from? Oh, how did you got the link? Harsh Saini, I'm asking you because there are certain issues of just abusing in the group by using different links. That's why. How did you got the link of BioPoints? Okay, you just Harsh Saini. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So regions of the root, that is the root cap, regions of meristematic activity, region of elongation, region of maturation, and the root hair. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have 5 regions of a root to study in detail. Okay, Shivani. Okay, Pratipa. Okay, Elsa. Okay. So root cap, meristematic activity region, region of elongation, region of maturation, root hairs. All these are the different regions of the root. Perfect. I hope Shivani Ramesh is not in the class. I think she might be having certain classes in the school. Okay. Okay, Ritika. Perfect. Okay, Calvin, clear up to here. Root cap, region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, region of maturation, and root hairs. First, we are going to discuss about the root cap. First, going to discuss about the root cap. Guys, you will not see all these things in almost all the plants because they will get degenerated due to the microbial attack from the soil. Guys, this is the small part or the root cap. This is the small part which you will call it as the root cap, and this is the root cap that prevents the microbial attack of the plant, or that protects the plant from the outer microorganism. It is the covering at the apex of the root. Apex means at the tip of the root. It protects the tender apex of the root, or the tender tip of the root is protected by this root cap. Guys, this is the root cap. I am just giving it a red color over here. Okay, this is the root cap. I hope this is a diagram in the NCRT. This is also an expected DBQ, diagram based question, for all your entrance examination. I hope you might have noted this. Okay, root cap. It is a covering at the apex of the root. It protects the tender apex of the root. And this is the root cap. It protects the plant from the microbial attack on the root. Next one is the region of meristematic activity. Region of meristematic activity. The region of meristematic activity is seen above the root cap. Guys, 2021, 2022 students, are you all getting all the points? Since you all guys are remaining silent, I'll just think that you are not getting the point. That's why you are keeping silent. I hope you are understanding everything because I'm repeating 2 or 3 times for you all to note down the points also. And if anybody wants me to explain anything, you can just tell me on the chat box. I'm looking at your chats. Okay? Okay. Thank you. So region of meristematic activity is seen above, just above the root cap. Guys, this is a small region. Look, this is a small region of meristematic activity. Small region is the meristematic activity region where it contributes to the growth of the root. Here the cells are very small, thin walled and with dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. You will study about the meristematic tissue. You have studied about the meristematic tissue in your 9th standard. CBSE students 9th standard. Any ICSE student, you might have studied also it in the 9th standard. You might have studied it in the 6th standard also, ICSE students. Okay. So, regions of the meristematic activity, they are seen above the root cap and the cells are very small, thin walled and dense protoplasm is there. They divide repeatedly. Perfect. Next region of elongation. The region just above the meristematic region, you have to study this order. You have the root cap, then the region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, region of maturation, and finally you have the root hair region. Okay. So in the region of elongation, the cells undergo rapid elongation and enlargement. So it is the region where the cells undergo rapid elongation and enlargement. It helps in the growth of the roots in the length. Okay. So region of elongation is just situated above the meristematic region. It is the region where maximum elongation and growth of the plant takes place. Root takes place, not the plant. Okay. This is the region of elongation. So first you have the root cap region, then the region of meristematic activity. Now you have the region of elongation. So next slide we will be discussing about the region of maturation and finally about the root hair. Perfect. So what is the function of the region of elongation? It helps in the growth of the plant in length. Next, fourth one is the region of maturation. From the term mature itself, you will see that here the cells differentiate and mature at this particular region. That is the region of maturation. This region. Okay, guys, don't take away the fibers with you. These fibers are considered to be the root hairs. Okay, they are to be the root hairs. Okay, so the region proximal means near. Students, you might have learned about the proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule in your excretory system. PCT means, if you are studying about the glomerulus. Guys, tell me about the functional unit of a kidney, the structural and functional unit of a kidney. On the chat box, anybody can answer the question. Yes, structural and functional unit of kidney on the chat box. Yes, yes, Ratika, Pranav, Pratipa, everybody correct. Nephron. Nephron is the answer. Okay, you might have studied about this nephron in your 10th standard. The tuft of blood capillary inside the Bowman's capsule. They will just go like this, form certain elongation, loop of Henle, right? So the region that is near to this, you will call it as the PCT, and away from the Bowman's capsule, you call it as DCT. Just exactly like that, you have here also the region proximal to the zone of elongation will call as the region of maturation. Guys, you can call it as the zone also, zone of maturation, zone of elongation, and all those things also. Okay, so these cells here differentiate and mature. Last and the final thing, that is the root hairs. Okay, they are the very fine, delicate thread like structures. And from where are the root hairs originated? From the epidermal cells. From the epidermal cells they absorb water and minerals from the soil. What is the function of root hair? The root hairs are present in order to increase the surface area for absorption, in order to increase the surface area for absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Guys, clear and perfect with the 5 regions of the root. Next we have to study about the modification of root. Up to this slide, if you are clear, give me a hearts on the screen fast. Okay, Shivani, I'll be explaining the region of maturation once again. Okay, guys, listen. If anybody, okay, Pranav, I'll try to upload in the very next 2 to 3 days about the pedigree analysis. Okay. So Shivani, please listen, and those anybody having doubt also listen. Guys, region of maturation. What do you mean by maturation? Means you are completely mature. The cells are capable, right? The cells are capable, right? So here in the region of maturation, the cells differentiate and mature. Differentiate means the cells divide and they are mature to produce new things. Okay, so these are the region of maturation is something that is the region that lies very close to the zone of elongation. Shivani, clear? This is the region of maturation. Okay, this is the region of maturation. And here they are telling that the region of maturation is the region that lies very close to this region of elongation. If you have any doubt further, please ask me. I'll be ready and I'll explain it anytime. That is 5 or 6 times I can explain if you have any doubt. Next, we are going to discuss about the modifications of the root. Guys, before that, let me check how many are left for you to study. Yes, 5 more. Yes, modifications of root. Modifications of roots. In some plants, the roots are modified to perform function other than absorption and conduction. In all plants, the roots are not specified for conduction and absorption. And in almost all the plants, the roots are never under the soil also. In certain plants, the roots are above the soil also. Okay, so according to NCRT, I'll be taking a different session for you for the out of NCRT examples in this chapter after the entire chapter is over. Okay, because in this chapter you have nearly 105 percentage of questions out of NCRT only. Okay, so a separate lecture would be taken from here. Okay, so in certain plants the roots are modified to perform certain function. For example, there are swollen roots for food storage. There are certain roots which are modified for food storage. There are certain roots for prop root. For example, banyan tree. For example, banyan tree. Food storage, you might just learn carrot, radish, all these things. Carrot, radish, all these are roots. Stilt root is seen in sugar cane. Stilt root is seen in sugar cane, and pneumatophores are seen in mangrove. Okay, mangroves you can see what pneumatophores or the roots that comes above the soil. One by one we are going to discuss. First of all, swollen roots, and the function is food storage. Okay. For example, tap roots of carrot. Guys, you have to study carrot, turnip, sweet potato. Okay. Guys, what is the difference between potato and sweet potato? Potato and sweet potato. The difference is generally asked for your NEET exam. What is the difference? Potato comes under the category stem, even though we obtain it from under the soil. Even we obtain it from under the soil, they are modified stem. Sweet potato is a modified root. I think almost everybody have seen this. That is sweet potato. Yes, sweet potato is a root. Carrot is a root, turnip is a root, and sweet potato is a root. Hope everybody can see clearly all the three diagrams on the screen, all the three clear pictures on the screen. Is it clear for everybody? Carrot, turnip, sweet potato. Whenever a question comes like this, you have to remember these diagram. Okay, they will be asking you about whether sweet potato is a stem or a root. Otherwise, the question will be which of the following is a modification of root. One of the option will be sweet potato, then potato, like that. So the answer will be sweet potato. You have to understand this. Okay. Whenever they are asking certain questions related to root of carrot, you have to understand you the image of this particular image should suddenly comes to your mind. Turnip should suddenly comes to your mind. Okay. So that is all about the swollen roots for food storage. Next one is the prop root. Guys, all these things are very small from your NCRT. We will having a separate lecture for out of NCRT question that will be really useful for NEET 2020 students also, because have you I hope everybody have seen that Supreme Court has rejected the plea for the postponement for the NEET examination, right? There were just certain students because only one petition was filed for the postponement and four different petitions were found for non-postponement. Okay, actually I don't know what's going to happen, because in Kerala itself there are more than 1,000 cases per day. Is it, Pranav? You're from Trivandrum, right, Pranav? Am I right? Yes. In Trivandrum, right, the COVID cases are increasing day by day. Yesterday it was 500 something. Each day it's giving a high peak rise in the number. Yes, I don't know what's then why Supreme Court has given such a decision for the conduction of examination even before the vaccines could come into play. I don't know. Let's keep our fingers crossed and wait. Okay. Most probably there won't be any changes in the dates for NEET 2020 because they have extended to maximum. But the court is just telling that if they are delaying the exam, it would affect the year of a child, because 1 year of a medicine MBBS course will be lost. But actually, the thing is that no college is going to conduct the classes by online in the medical colleges, because it's not a possible thing. It's not just like the normal degree courses, because there are certain demonstration. Everything has to be perfect and fine. The first and second year of MBBS you will be doing and studying almost all the anatomy and physiology of a human body. So it's not possible. That's a thing which has been said by AIMS director also yesterday, that classes are not going to commence even though the exam is conducted. So everything is in the hands of God. Let God save us. Back to the class. Yes. Prop root means they are the hanging structures that support the banyan tree. That's only thing. Prop root. It is a type of adventitious root because they are not originating from the radical. Okay. Pratibha, is it clear? Pratibha. What about Ramya Shri? Ramya Shri is not there in the class, I suppose. Okay. So in the diagram, it is clearly shown about the prop root. Next one is a stilt root. I have already explained you with the help of a hand-drawn diagram. Stilt root, they are the supporting roots that coming out of the lower nodes of the stem. Guys, this was asked for CBSE board exams 2020. CBSE board exams 2020 this year. There are certain one or two questions from class 11th also. Okay, which are in connection with class 12. There are certain one or two questions for the CBSE exams comes from class 11th also. About this supporting root, one question was asked for 1 mark question. Then about the different type of fishes, only a small mention of the fishes comes in the chapter food production, but they asked about the name of certain fishes, like that something happened. Okay, so stilt root is observed in maize and sugarcane. Guys, this is the maize root. This is the maize root. This is the sugarcane. For example, in sugarcane, you might have seen certain projections like this, small white projections. Okay, you're eating the stem, that is the stem of the sugarcane. From the node of the stem itself, the stilt roots are also appearing. Perfect. Last one is the pneumatophores. Okay, pneumatophores. The roots that come out of the ground to grow vertically upwards to get oxygen for respiration. What is the function of pneumatophores? They are required for oxygen respiration, for collecting oxygen for respiration. I hope you could see the image directly on the screen. Rhizopora is an example. Guys, actually, you know one thing. These are not the plants. These are not the plants. This is the plant. Guys, these are the plants. Okay. These plants, the roots are for these plants. Yes, it is negatively geotropic. Perfect, Pranav. Good. They are negatively geotropic. Guys, understood why they are negatively geotropic? Because they are coming above the soil against the gravity. Guys, these are the roots which are protruded from these plants. I don't know how many of you visited the mangrove forest. You could see the mangrove forest in Kerala. You had a mangrove forest. Yes. Next one are the functions of root at a glance. So we discussed about the different functions of the root. That is absorption. Absorption of water and minerals from the soil is one of the function, is one of the function, not the main. Second one, provide anchorage to plant parts. Guys, those who are preparing for your 11th board exam, those who are preparing for your 11th standard board exam, please take down these functions of root, because they may be asked for your 2 marks question. Okay, 2 marks question, assertion, reason question also can come for NEET. So they provide a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storage of reserved food materials, synthesis of plant growth regulator. Okay, guys, perfect. Perfect. So in the next class, we would be learning about the stem. Can we stop the class and end the class? Hope everybody given the like for the session, understood about the root. Guys, I'll be sharing the PDF of the session for root or the MCQs. It's not at all clear, Atika, whether assertion reason questions will come in E 2020 or not. But there are more than 50% chances for 2 or 3 questions, assertion reason questions can come. Why? Because this year onwards is the first year, right? AIMS and JIPMER exams are being conducted along with NEET. So there are chances. So there are chances for getting assertion reason questions also into the NEET 2020. That's why I'm telling that this year the biology is not going to be such simple like last year's. If you take last year's question paper, you can see nearly out of 90 questions, 70, 75 were direct MCQ. A student who had listened to the class in his class 11 and 12 might give 70 questions correctly in the NEET examination, because all the questions were direct, because last year it was the first time that NTA puts a question. And last year most of you feels difficult with the physics, right? Last year one question from the physics was, no, option will definitely come in NEET. But assertion reason questions will make you confused, because you will not be able to know whether it is true, false, or like that. Today I'll be sharing the questions of the root from the part root on your Telegram group as a PDF. And when you look at that, nearly most of the question you will not be able to do, because all of that would be out of NCRT questions. Okay? Okay, out of NCRT question. Yes, exactly. It was direct NCRT questions in the previous year. And last year, one of the physics question was, which of the light, which, I don't remember the question correctly. I don't know whether this would be the question. This was the question. Okay. Which of the following color of VIBGYOR is having the most longest wavelength, or something like that was asked. Simple question, red light. Am I right? Is it red light, right? Okay. Such a simple question was asked. Out of the 90 question, 4 marks was guaranteed for the students. So we don't know the condition for this year, because AIMS, JIPMA questions, previous year questions also may be included in our NEET exam from this year. So in the next class, we'll be studying about the different structures for STEM, along with certain high quality images we will be studying. Perfect. Guys, look, we have reached up to the 21st slide. In the next class, we will be learning from the 22nd up to 34. Okay, from 22nd up to 34 we have the stem. From 35 to 50 we have the leaf. Then from 51, I hope you are seeing all the images. I hope you are seeing all the images. Okay, from 51 onwards the flower starts, and we would end the session for flower. It's a very lengthy part. Okay, up to 80, not 83, 90, 54 to 90 you have the flower. Then you have to study about the fruit, only 3 slides, then about the seeds, then about the certain typical family. Perfect. So hope everybody would like the session. Give. Okay. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe the channel with your friends. Bye bye. Take care. Ending my session. Bye bye.